All right, we are live, and we have the microphone, we have the camera. Where's the water? The water, sorry folks, is right here on the off chance I get a little thirsty doing this. I've also got my now new favorite pop, the poker chips, which these are actual chips, and I use them just to, I don't know, whatever. So I always hate doing these things when Dustin is live streaming. I feel like we're competing for people at that point. However, I can't wait a whole lot longer. Sorry, Dustin. Hey, everyone. This is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. We've got Steven, Patrick, Rick Reviews already. Everyone in the house. So this was going to be just a random run-of-the-mill live stream. Like, just, I didn't have a main topic in mind. I was just going to like, well, we'll just go online, talk a little bit about this, talk a little about that. Who knows? However, I was sent this article. It's a long article. Maybe we could go through it, called Uber's Path of Destruction by Hubert Haran. This is from the website American Affairs. Oh, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, yes. I am glad to be okay. Okay, too. I don't know if I'm going to go to the protest, guys. I know a lot of you really want me to go, and I want to go too. I don't want to not go, but there is something going on. I can't tell you what it is, but it is a personal thing, and I really might not be able to get out of it. It's unfortunate. If it were Thursday, I could do it. If it were Wednesday, I could do it. If it was Monday, I could do it. If it's Tuesday, I just don't know. I don't know, and it bothers me that really I might be there. Who knows? I mean, last minute things can happen, but I just don't know, guys. I'm sorry. As I need people to understand. Well, actually, no, I don't really need you to understand. This is just how it is. I'm just going to tell people how it is. Yes, YouTube is my job, and this is my job. However, my job is not my life. And what's happening on Tuesday is a very personal thing for me, and it's my life. And, well, here's the thing. Not that I grew up with good parents, but I grew up watching all those movies where like the workaholic dad was always too busy for life. You know, I'm not going to be that person. So you know what? If I have to skip the protest because of something that personally would be beneficial to me and my future family, I'm going to pick that, okay? I'm sorry. Now, that said, it's promising. I might end up making it. We just need to figure some last minute details out, and then I will know for sure whether I can go or not. Well, and you'll know if I'm going to be there or not because I'll either be there or I won't be. However, I know a lot of people have been like on my channel. Maybe I should talk about this first before we get into this article. A lot of people have been on my channel, and I know this is like a big deal. This rally is a big deal, but a lot of people have actually had the galls to say, "Hey, you got to go there," or I'm unsubscribing, and it's like, I don't care. I don't care. You know what? My viewers don't dictate my life. This is something I do for you, and you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I can't make it, I can't make it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to make it. It's just right now we're leaning towards the not, unfortunately. And if you have to unsubscribe, well, you know what? Then unsubscribe. I'm not going to be catering to the whims of people online. That's just how it is. So most of you are pretty understanding about that, though. Hey, Alex, how you doing? So, there's not any closer I would go. Well, yeah, look, here's the thing. Look, what's going on Tuesday, I'm not going to talk about because there's a certain level of privacy that I want to maintain on my life. There really is. And I know a lot of people get like, well, what are you doing that's so important? Just tell us. And it's like, I don't need to tell you that. And for that matter, I don't think I should tell you that. So, but I do want to go. If you take away anything, know that I want to go. And if I can't go, it's because truly I could not make it happen. That's all you need to know. So, hey, Jeremy from NYC and Jim. However, I do. But who knows? Maybe it'll work out. So it's just I'm noticing as I do this longer, you can't win for trying. You just can't. Like, like, all this time, it's like, well, what gives you the right to talk about Uber? You don't drive. And it's like, yeah, I'm honest about that, but that's fine. And then I'm upfront like, but tell you what, I'm going to be buying some stock in Uber and Lyft, so then I will be invested and have an vested interest in this topic. And I buy stock, one share, by the way. And people start unsubscribing, saying, you are a hypocrite. You can't talk about Uber. You are compromised. You're investing in the company. It's like, I mean, admittingly, the complaints about me not driving stopped, but, you know, um, there you go. And and then it's like then there's like a protest last week, and it's like, and I'm sick that day, and it's like, oh, you're just too lazy. Get off your butt. And it's like, hey, if you don't go to the subscriber, you're gonna I'm gonna start. So it's like, guys, do what you want. Seriously, do what you want. You can't please everyone. So, and once you have 15,000 subscribers, which I actually am not quite at yet. However, I'm getting a lot closer to 15,000 subscribers, and I will probably get them before the end. Then who knows? So yeah, you're right. I mean, the people who unsubscribe still, or they say they unsubscribed anyway. They still comment. All right, so can you film protests with drone? Is it illegal to fly over? Yeah, that's probably illegal. I mean, it's the state capital, so there's now here's the positive side for any just in case I can't go. This might be a cool little insider tip for other people who might go. The Capitol has two parking garages right in front of it. So if you go to the roof, you can get like an aerial view shot without a drone. So, just something for some people to consider, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, yeah, I did go on about that more than I intended. I think I'm just getting a little tired of people threatening to unsubscribe for if I don't do exactly what they say, and it's like, okay, so unsubscribe. It's it's like that's just. Oh, and by the way, some people actually tell some of the other guys that they can't comment on Uber or Lyft because they drive too much. They do this for a living, so you can't trust them to be objective. It's like, this is why we have different opinions. We just have different so anyway, it's like Steven says, you have a reason. It's because family good enough for me. Thanks. Well, future family anyway. Actually, I should probably go over to my channel so that I can read the comments here. And let's see here. Edgar says, what's the point? No point, just venting. This is a live stream, folks, which I actually forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. This is a live stream. Things can go in any direction they want. I mean, I did primarily want to talk about this article that I found. It'd be like a fairly long read through, which is fine, but, let's see here. So let's see here. All right, here I am. And now we've got 44 people watching, so welcome everyone, one of you, for joining us. So since there is going to be a protest and a rally, and we're going to be having this bill that's being signed, someone sent me this article from American Affairs. Yes, hit the like button, folks. It really helps, or the dislike if you don't like me. I don't care. And it's from summer 2019, volume 3, number 2. Dustin's been live for a while, so bye. I know his live streams tend to be a little bit better than mine. I will acknowledge that, but I couldn't wait for him to be over. And this one, oh yeah, oh yes, Jeremy, this is live. So this is live. I know that premiere thing throws people off. Well, this article is did you know Camp's mansion's address? I long to look up the property taxes. I don't know. I don't know what that. Well, let me. I don't know if this is the YMCA camp, summer camp. Well, I don't know anything about that stuff. So, anyway, so this was written by Hubert Horan, and he wrote an article, a very long and comprehensive article, but that's fine. Like, this is what live streams are good for. And for the record, I tried to set it up where I can record the screen and talk over it, but I don't think the microphone jack is, you know what? If you don't get what the point is, and you have to ask that 3 times, you can just leave, or 2. I don't care what it was, but there you go. And the headphone jack didn't appear to be working. So, unfortunately, I just have to read it like this and share my commentary, and we'll take little questions in between, of course. So this video now has purpose. Oh, Dara Karashahi is from Cant Mansion. Okay. So, well, I don't know that address. And even if I did, I wouldn't be giving it for that very reason. Anyway, since it began operations in 2012, Uber, where it now collects over $45 billion in gross passenger revenue, and it has seized a major share of the urban car service market. But the widespread belief that it is a highly innovative and successful company has no basis in economic reality. So, let's see here. And I agree with that. An examination of Uber's economics suggests that it has no hope of ever earning sustainable urban car service profits in competitive markets. Its costs are simply much bigger than the market is willing to pay, as its 9 years of massive losses indicate. Uber not only lacks powerful competitive advantages, but it is actually less efficient than the competitors it has been driving out of business. So this is actually fascinating because right from the get-go, there's 2 things that are kind of, we don't think about. Like, first of all, Uber's costs are higher than taxis. How? They don't own cars. They don't have employees, in theory. They don't have any stuff. So how is it more expensive? And how is it less efficient than taxis when taxis have not been efficient for years? Well, let's continue. Uber's investors, however, never expected that their returns would come from superior efficiency in competitive markets. Uber pursued a growth at all cost strategy financed by a staggering $20 billion in investor funding. This funding subsidized fares and service levels that could not be matched by incumbents who had to cover costs out of actual passenger fares. Uber's massive subsidies were explicitly anti-competitive and are ultimately unsustainable, but they made the company enormously popular with passengers who enjoyed not having to pay the full cost of their service. And this is true. And by the way, we have seen this happen in other areas. Now, let's see here. I'm always losing this card for some reason, even though I always leave it. I always leave it here. Why am I always losing? Well, anyway, I'll share the example verbally anyway. MoviePass. MoviePass became wildly popular because of its $9.95 a month subscription service. By the way, I was a MoviePass subscriber when it was like $35 a month, which was a lot more reasonable, and I still got a lot of use out of it. Oh, here it is. There it is. So, with MoviePass, when it was $10 a month and you could see a movie a day, heck, even if you can only see 3 movies a day, that is an extraordinarily good deal. Of course, people would jump on it and they would subscribe in the millions. The problem is they're subscribing in the millions for a reason, because what they are paying for, they are getting a huge discount for. Like, you are essentially getting free movie tickets with MoviePass. With Uber and Lyft, and even to a lesser extent Postmates and DoorDash, you are getting free ride sharing. You are getting a free taxi. Like, it's so much less than what you should be paying for the. And a lot of people, and so of course it's going to become popular, and of course people are going to take advantage of it. Why wouldn't they take advantage of it? The problem is that sustainable? Hi, Katie. So that's kind of what they're getting here, is that Uber was never going to make money on the service. They pursued a growth at all cost strategy. Now, why would they do that? Hey, Noah, how you doing? It's always great to see you in the live stream. By the way, you missed it. We were talking about trolls. With them myself these days. I hope yours is going fine. Anyway, let's continuing. The resulting rapid growth was also intended to make Uber highly attractive to those segments of the investment world that believed explosive top-line growth was the only important detriment of how startup companies should be valued. Investors focused narrowly on Uber's revenue growth and only rarely considered whether the company could ever produce the profits that might someday repay the multi-billion-dollar subsidies. Most public criticisms of Uber have focused on narrow behavioral and cultural issues, including deceptive advertising and prices, algorithmic manipulation, driver exploitation, deep-seated misogyny among executives, and disregard of laws and business norms. Such criticisms are valid. That's their comment, not mine, though I happen to agree with it. But these problems are not fixable aberrations. They were the inevitable result of pursuing growth at all costs without having any ability to fund that growth out of positive cash flow. AKA, they can't actually fund that from making money, only by fundraising and donations. And while Uber has taken steps to reduce negative publicity, it has not done and cannot do anything that could suddenly produce a sustainable, profitable business model. Now, isn't that scary? Uber's longer-term goal was to eliminate all meaningful competition and profit from this quasi-monopoly power. By the way, I'm going to throw this out there just because I have to. This is the business model Amazon and Spotify have also thrown out there. Both companies, and even Netflix to a certain extent, all companies lose so much money and they want like a quasi-monopoly power so that they could eventually either raise the prices on the customers or squeeze their suppliers for more stuff for less money, maybe a little bit of both. So, that was the goal the whole time. While it has already begun using some of this artificial power to suppress driver wages, see, we got to that, it has not achieved the Facebook or Amazon type platform power it hoped to exploit. Given that both sustainable profits and true industry dominance seemed unachievable, Uber's investors decided to take the company public based on the hope that investors still believe that the company's rapid growth and popularity are the result of powerfully efficient innovations and do not care about its inability to generate profit. And they've been very successful at doing that so far. I mean, if you look at, Uber and Lyft, whether it's a buy or sell or hold, because analysts do this sort of thing all the time, the vast majority of analysts say buy and hold. They look at the long term like, hey, it's popular, it's growing, it's continuing to grow, it's not going to stop growing, we need to keep this going. And yet there are a few who are looking at this and just, they're looking at the money and they're like, that price doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. These beliefs about Uber's corporate value were created entirely out of thin air. Thin air. By the way, for those of you who are typing questions, I see them. I'm probably going to pause taking the questions for the time being, but we will get back to you in a moment. Like, this article is separated into a few sections, so we're going to do the first section, then we're going to do the second section and the third, and in between the sections we will answer questions and stuff. So, anyway, where was I? Okay. This is not the case of a company with a reasonably sound operating business that has managed to inflate stock market expectations a bit. This is a case of a massive valuation that has no relation to any economic fundamentals. Uber has no competitive efficiency advantages, operates in an industry with few barriers to entry, and has lost more than $14 billion in the previous 4 years. Its narratives convinced most people in the media, investment, and tech worlds that it is the most valuable transportation company on the planet and the second most valuable startup IPO in U.S. history after Facebook, even though it totally tanked as a stock. And by the way, yes, I acknowledge I did buy a stock. I always said I would. Hi, Jay. However, I did so just so that I have a valid reason to complain. As an investor, I can definitely complain when they're doing something wrong. And this is worth complaining about. Uber is the breakthrough case where the public perception of a large new company was entirely created using the types of manufactured narratives typically employed in partisan political campaigns. Narrative construction is perhaps Uber's greatest competitive strength. The company used these techniques to completely divert attention away from the massive subsidies that were the actual drivers of its popularity and growth. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Because at the end of the day, what is Uber? It's a taxi. Taxi has been around for years. There's nothing novel about a taxi, but a cheap taxi. A cheap taxi. A dirt cheap taxi. That will get people's attention. It's kind of like movie theaters. Movie theaters been around for a long time. Thank you for the super chat. View, thank you for the $2 tip. Those were two $1 chips. And I will drink to your health. However, what made MoviePass so popular? It was cheap. When movie tickets are $12, $15 a piece, and it's only going to cost $12 to see as many movies you want, of course you're going to go for it. Well, when a taxi starts at $15 and just goes up from there, of course you're going to go with the ride that costs you $3.50. So the price drove Uber's popularity, not the service. Thanks, Katie. I appreciate it. Yeah, we can talk about MoviePass discontinuing that stuff later on. Let's continue this for a little bit. Let's see here. Where? Oh yeah, here it is. It successfully framed the entire public discussion around an emotive, us versus them battle between heroic innovators and corrupt regulators who were falsely blamed for all the industry's historic service problems. Uber's desired framing that it was fighting a moral battle on behalf of technological progress and economic freedom was uncritically accepted by the mainstream business and tech industry press, who then analyzed the firm's actual economics or its anti-competitive behavior. In reality, Uber's platform does not include any technological breakthroughs, and Uber has done nothing to disrupt the economics of providing urban car services. What Uber has disrupted is the idea that competitive consumer and capital markets will maximize overall economic welfare by rewarding companies with super efficiency. Its multi-billion-dollar subsidies completely distorted marketplace price and service signals, leading to a massive misallocation of resources. Uber's most important innovation has been to produce staggering levels of private wealth without creating any substantial benefits for consumers, workers, the cities they serve, or anyone else. This is the end of the first part of the article. And yeah, I agree with that. In fact, I did a video fairly recently. I believe it was Saturday. And apparently a lot of people wanted to see this video because for a Saturday video, it did very, very well. But I talked about one of the Uber co-founders buying a $72 million mansion. And, here's the thing. I don't begrudge Cant's success. Garrett Camp, that's his name, right? I don't begrudge him. He came up with a product that everybody wanted. Clearly. And he invested his personal money in it and he bought a mansion. And so, yeah, that's good for him. He can afford a $72 million mansion that I couldn't possibly even imagine what I would do with one of those things. And yet, as this last line said, like, this is the only accomplishment Uber has done. They've created wealth for the people who invested heavily into the company when they started, but there's pretty much no benefit to the consumer, workers, or cities they serve. Here's the thing. Consumers have the surge pricing and all that stuff. Workers obviously get paid garbage. And the cities, well, the cities are just cluttered in traffic. They are cluttered in traffic signals. I might be at the rally on Tuesday. I really, really hope to. I hope to. Cannot promise. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't begrudge him having a big house. However, when he's buying a $72 million house and you have people sleeping in their cars, that just doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good when there's discussions in Congress about how the drivers are being taken advantage of. It's like, oh no, the drivers aren't being taken advantage of. I mean, they're mostly sleeping in their cars, and yeah, we're buying a $72 million mansion, and we're cutting their pay even as we ask them to help us, but, you know, we're not taking advantage of them. So, there you go. Anyway, here's the second part of the article. And I think this one has actually been in the most dispute, especially to the protests and you can go through my video footage and you can see what people say, because a lot of people say that Uber has to be making money because it's just an app, and it's obviously more complicated than that. However, the guy's second point in this big article, Uber cannot produce sustainable profits. Prior to its IPO, Uber publicly released limited P&L results. These showed GAAP net losses of $2.6 billion in 2015, $3.8 billion in 2016, $4.5 billion in 2017, and $3.9 billion in 2018. So, what do you know? They lost $0.4 billion less last year. So, yay, that's a win. In its April IPO S1 prospectus, Uber recast all its historical P&L results, allegedly to insulate the terrible results in 3 major markets: China, Russia, and Southeast Asia. Because, why not? We always blame the Russians, right? Sorry, I couldn't resist. That Uber has abandoned from the results of its ongoing operations, which are the primary concern of political investors. But Uber's S1 included $5 billion, roughly $3 billion in debenture gains, and $2 billion representing Uber's valuation of its untradeable equity debt positions in the companies that took over its failed operations as part of net income from its ongoing operations. This deliberate misstatement was designed to give potential investors the impression that the profitability of Uber's current marketplace services had improved by $5 billion, and that Uber actually made a $1 billion net profit in 2018. If one correctly segregates ongoing and discontinued results, however, Uber's actual 2018 profit improvement was 0. I don't know if that means 0, right? If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Let's see here. In ongoing operations, lost $3.5 billion in 2017 and lost $3.5 billion again in 2018. The company's losses over the last 4 years from still ongoing operations were roughly $14 billion. So basically, they're cooking the books. They're cooking the books to make themselves look like they're more profitable and successful than they actually are. There was another company that was caught doing that. They were called Enron. I don't think it worked out well for Enron, but I don't know. Maybe I completely misunderstood that whole Enron, the smartest guys in the room documentary, which if you haven't seen is amazing. I think you can stream it on Amazon Prime and Netflix. Previously, Uber had been the only ride-sharing company with sufficient public data to allow a detailed analysis of business model competitiveness versus incumbent operators. But the March release of Lyft's IPO prospectus revealed that it had the same terrible economics as Uber, and there is no public evidence that any other ride-sharing companies such as Didi, Grab, Ola, and other large Asian operators has a path to sustainable profitability. Like Uber, other well-known startups lost money at first, but unlike Uber, they quickly generated the strong positive cash flow needed to fund growth. The gross fares paid by Uber passengers increased from $9 billion in 2015 to $45 billion in 2018. That's a lot of cheddar. If Uber had the powerful scale network economies that allowed startups like to rapidly grow into profitability, the results would have shown up in Uber's financial performance years ago. In fact, Uber's operating and investing activities burned $2.2 billion in cash in 2018, its 9th year of operation. And, I have to give Uber this much credit. When they were voluntarily giving out the loss information, which they didn't have to do as a private company, they were probably being very smart because they knew that there was not going to be any profits anytime soon. Well, you be upfront about it. You be upfront for years that you're not profitable so that, hey, when it's time to go public, when you lose money, it's really not new and we're still heading towards the profitability. Maybe. Uber's GAAP profit margin was negative 135% in 2015. It appeared to improve to negative 51% in 2017, and adjusting for the divestiture and non-cash equity gains discussed above, negative 35% in 2018. Yet these subsequent improvements were not driven by efficiency gains, but by the ability to force driver take-home pay down to minimum wage levels. Actually, less than minimum wage, because in both of their S1 filings, they have admitted they can't afford to pay drivers minimum wage. And if they can't afford to pay drivers minimum wage, and they have hundreds of thousands of drivers out there, that means there's many people not making minimum wage. Just pointing that out. If Uber drivers still received their 2015 share of each passenger dollar, Uber's negative margins would still be in the triple digits, and that's why they've been doing that, obviously. Primarily, digital companies benefit from very strong economies of scale because the marginal cost of expansion becomes negligible once basic corporate infrastructure is in place. Uber, by contrast, provides a transportation service with a very small percentage of fixed costs. Costs increase with each additional vehicle and driver, and Uber incurs huge startup costs with each new city and county country it enters. Uber and taxi services in general realize none of the network economies that some other transport companies enjoy, like airline hub networks, for example. They also have none of the Facebook-type network effects following what is known as Metcalfe's law, by which each new user makes the network more valuable to all other users, which makes it nearly impossible for competitors to survive, hence the duopoly complex. So let's go, I'm going to go over to the chat because that's the second part of the article. Let's see what some of the comments are. Let's see here. Kago P says, Uber drivers benefited too. Most drivers can't even do a regular job. You know what? I'm not going to get into that one. They benefited at one point, but not to the extent that Uber investors obviously did. Alex says, yeah, but these people don't have a gun to their head forced to drive for rideshare. No, they don't. And that's actually why it's really strange that with all the freedom you have, like maybe some people just truly can't get out of it. They feel like they're stuck, but it's like, a lot of people know they're getting screwed and they don't get out of it. Like, why wouldn't you get out of it? I got out of it. I'm still talking about it a lot, but I don't drive to the extent, I still do Postmates sometimes, but why do they still do it? So, and granted, it should be funny that Katie, she does drive Uber, but she's trying to make like $50 a week. It's not a big deal. So, to answer the question that this is from American Affairs Journal. It's called Uber's Path of Destruction. And I'm going to have a link to it after the live stream below if anyone wants to read this on their own time. John says the upper management at Uber have the upper hand and get paid too much. Yeah, I actually agree with that because I don't think you should get paid a lot of money until you're successful and profitable. They should still be working minimum wage until they make the company profitable. You don't get to buy a $72 million house when you have a company that loses $14 billion in 4 years. So let's see here. What else? Apparently Alex is a stalker. So John says last. LAX San Gabriel says, why is Uber Eats readjusting our pay to $0 after we already did delivery though? Send me your screenshot. I'd be very curious to see what that is. Rideshare Source Driver says, Travis is smart. Let's not forget he was president's advisor, but quit. Travis made more money. Yeah, he did. So, and Travis also got to be on like all these talk shows and all this jazz. So Katie, hey Katie, let's just tell people, yeah, Katie, just tell. No, it's not like it matters. You can just share what you made. Go. I mean, Katie gets good tips. It should be noted she gets really good tips. She gets $20 tips are fairly frequent for her because she's just that nice to people. So, she also gets an abundance of phone numbers, which she has become a pro at turning them down and still getting the tip. So. There you go. But yeah, you can send the screenshots to greatmediauniverse@gmail.com, and my email's in the comments below. Katie, with Lyft and Uber combined, I made $82. Okay, how many hours did you drive? I'm curious. Like, what time did you start and when did you more or less end? But $82, yeah, that's pretty good if you just did it for a few hours. For the people who keep coming in, who keep asking about the what's going on in Sacramento, I read 3 to 7, so 4.5 hours. So 4.5 divided by what was it? What was it again? $82. Well, why is it calculator? So about $18 an hour. That's not bad at all. See, if it was more like that, that'd be fine. Most people would be happy with that. And of course, the sad thing, Katie, is if you had that night a few years ago, you would have made 3 times as much. Is she related to Jimi Hendrix? Yes, actually, she is related to Jimi Hendrix. We've got a very nice inheritance coming. Hey, JJ, how you doing? Oh, no problem. Yeah, it was nice to visit your live stream. It's like, oh, JJ's live. I should really check it out. So, I guess there's a reason you're called the karaoke driver. So yeah. Katie made about a little more than $18 an hour, and that is ideal. That is truly ideal. See, this is how she does it. I tell them our story about us getting married, and they usually tip. She is excellent about getting tips. Like, hi, April, how you doing? You're a karaoke addict. Well, one of these days, you need to do some karaoke Disney songs. That's what I'd like to see. All right, so hey, Kam Singh, how you doing? So now that we have established that Katie is awesome at getting tips and actually averages well above the $15 an hour most days, let's continue this article, which for those of you who are new, I am reading the article from American Affairs Journal, and it's called Uber's Path of Destruction. I will have a full link to it below. It's broken up into several parts. This is the next part, and this was a short one. Uber has higher costs than the competitors it has displaced, which this is probably going to be the most fascinating part, because it seems like Uber should have fewer costs. It seems, hey, DFW Food Delivered, how you doing? Nice to see you here. And Robert Rideshare Guy. Because it seems like Uber should have lower costs. They don't own the cars, they don't have employees in theory, but that. So anyway, here it says, if Uber's growth had actually resulted from superior efficiency, there would be ample evidence that it could taxi service at significantly lower costs than traditional operators. The opposite is true. Uber has higher costs than traditional operators in every category other than fuel, because they don't buy fuel. The cost structure of any urban car service company has 4 components. Vehicle costs, typically 18% of total, including acquisition, financing, maintenance, and licensing. Corporate costs, including dispatching, advertising, overhead functions such as IT and legal, and returns to shareholders. Fuel, 9%. And driver compensation, 58%, including benefits. So, and here Uber's taking more than 60% in some case. Yes, Katie has a very addictive laugh, so, Uber's business model shifts the vehicle costs, ownership, maintenance, insurance that traditional companies use to incur to its independent contractor drivers. Passenger fares need to cover total Uber plus driver costs, but shifting the burden of vehicle costs and financing onto drivers makes those costs higher, since hundreds of thousands of drivers with limited capital and business experience cannot possibly manage these costs as well as even a typical traditional cab company. Traditional cab companies also have much lower corporate costs, as they avoid Uber's huge expenditures in areas like political lobbying, global branding, IT development, big corporate headquarters, etc. Yeah, that's actually kind of true. I didn't think about it, but yeah, Uber spends billions of dollars in lobbying, global branding, IT development, which is obvious, and the big corporate headquarters. And, it's funny because I was talking to, I like talking to Dark Road Run. We're kind of buddies outside of this channel. And one day we were talking about, because he was in front of their San Francisco office, and he's thinking about how much millions of dollars they're spending on it. And it's like, why isn't this in Kentucky or something where they can create jobs and you don't, they have, all you need is a decent phone line. You don't need to be in a big multi-million-dollar building in a big city to to do this. So there, I love JJ said, yeah, and if Uber could avoid being sued all the time, that would lower expenses. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't recall taxi companies getting sued as much as Uber. So here's the next part of the article. Most of Uber's margin improvements came from reducing driver take-home pay. This is obviously not going to be news to anyone here, but let's go over it anyway. While Uber has not achieved the global industry dominance its investors were originally seeking, its ability to reduce driver pay illustrates how it always intended to use market power as a major source of returns. Prior to Uber's market entry, the take-home pay of big city taxi drivers was only $12 to $17 per hour, and drivers need to work 60, 75 hours a week to earn that much. So, yeah, taxi drivers were definitely, they kind of got the short end of the stick as well. Despite extensively promoting how it would improve life for its driver partners, Uber actually reduced take-home pay to $9.11 per hour, below minimum wage levels in many cases. There have been multiple reports about drivers needing to sleep in their cars to make ends meet. A recent study of drivers for app-based companies in New York City showed that 90% were recent immigrants, largely from Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. I probably pronounced that wrong, I'm sorry. And 20% required public income supplements such as food stamps. Uber's entry substantially increased the demand for drivers. If labor markets worked as predicted by economic theory, this should have significantly increased driver take-home pay and improved working conditions. Instead, Uber exploited artificial market power to subvert normal market dynamics. Its extensive driver recruitment programs use gross dishonesty to deceive drivers, including ongoing misrepresentations of gross pay prior to deducting vehicle costs as net pay. And at one point, the company claimed that Uber drivers in New York averaged $90,000 in annual earnings. Uber's shift to the fuel vehicle burden onto drivers created additional artificial power. Traditional cab drivers could easily move to other jobs if they were unhappy, but Uber's drivers were locked into vehicle financial obligations that made it much more difficult to leave once they discovered how poor actual pay and conditions were. This is something I have been very critical of over the years, and I'm glad that he's acknowledging it. Starting in 2015, Uber eliminated most of the incentives it had used to attract drivers and unilaterally raise its share of passenger fares from 20% to 20 to 30%. Well, 25 to 30%, and really a lot more in the long run. Almost all of Uber's margins improvement since 2015 is explained by this reduction of driver compensation down to minimum wage levels, not by improved efficiency. These unilateral compensation cuts resulted in a direct wealth transfer from labor to capital of over $3 billion. Comparable cuts at Lyft resulted in a labor capital wealth transfer of $1 billion. Again, this is not news. By the way, Katie, if you're still here, just to let you know, I made $2 in Super Chat. So there you go. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there for her. Anyway, this is again, this is not surprising. We knew this was happening. And amazingly, even after moving that billions of dollars, they're still losing money. And in some cases, like in New York with Lyft, and NYC Driver Log has actually showed me these screenshots. It's weird because on the Lyft passenger app, it will say that it's like, it'll be like prime timing over here for them. And yet for the Lyft drivers, it'll show it's prime timing somewhere else. So there's actually no consistency about where the prime time actually is. And in most cases, I don't think the Lyft drivers even get the prime time. I think it more often than not, Lyft and Uber say that it's this. And well, actually, we have evidence. We have screenshotted evidence of Uber and Lyft stealing tips and misrepresenting the surge. So I'm sure there's a lot of situations where you're taking a surge ride and you just don't know. NYC Driver Log said no. I got something wrong probably. There is no prime time. Oh, I mean the personal power zone. That's right. Well, but they're still charging. Well, Thanks, Kay. Appreciate that. But yeah, yeah. She's just thinking of me, guys. um, but yeah, because yeah, Lyft technically did take away the prime time for the drivers. NYC driver log during transition. That was a screenshot of two separate driver apps. Oh, that was a okay. That's where I made the mistake. So there were two separate driver apps, same time. Actually, that makes more sense why it would be scandalous. And they were showing the prime time or the personal power zones, whatever you want to call it, and they were in separate places. As NYC driver log said, there was almost never a personal power zone. So, and JJ says they don't need to put surges here because there's so many drivers now. Yeah, that's probably true. However, I bet you they're still charging it. And the personal power zone is a joke. Yeah, everyone, including the guys from Chicago, they've all said that. Like they all agree that is a joke. Upfront pricing is a joke. Everything about Uber and Lyft is a joke these days. So, he had a $19 pizza. Pizza's really good, especially the $19 one. So hey, we have 94 people watching, just 96 actually. Just to let you know, if we get 100 thumbs up, we'll do the show beanie list. So, there you go. Here's the next part of the article. Uber has not increased taxi productivity or solved long-standing industry problems, which I think they probably solved a couple, but they introduced a heck of a lot more. Traditional taxi service was widely disliked. In a perfect world, customers want clean, sparkling cabs and don't want to pay higher prices for the increased availability and reliability required to get cars to instantly appear whenever they want. Four major structural issues explain why traditional cab companies couldn't improve productivity and couldn't economically provide the level of service customers would have liked. These problems have long been understood and are inherent to every form of urban transportation. Solving these structural barriers would require significantly reducing operating costs and significantly increasing the productivity of vehicles and drivers. Uber, however, has failed to reduce car service costs and it hasn't meaningfully improved productivity. Far from revolutionizing the future of transportation, Uber has not solved any of the industry's long-standing structural problems. And this sentence is done in italics, so you know it's important. Most taxi demand is low-income, higher fares would shrink traffic and reduce utilization. Taxi demand is sociologically bipolar. 55% of demand comes from people earning less than $400,000 per year, while 35% comes from people earning more than $100,000. Demand from lower income people is driven by access to jobs in areas or times of day when transit service is poor or non-existent. Given the current income distribution of riders, any attempt to balance supply and demand will either drive lower income passengers out of the market or result in wealthy customers being charged less than they might be willing to pay. Uber does not have the lower cost structure needed to improve service while keeping fares low, and apparently realizes that only a small portion of the market is willing to pay fares that would cover the true cost of its service. Higher prices would also reduce vehicle utilization and destroy any notion that Uber's business has exceptional growth potential. Uneven geographic demand creates unavoidable empty black hole costs. Taxi demand, as with demand for every other form of urban transport, has extreme temporal and geographical peaks. Most cities have a dense core area where taxi demand is highest, and taxis operating within that zone can maintain reasonably high daily utilization. But the true cost of trips to neighborhoods outside that zone can be as much as twice normal trip costs since they will have an empty backhaul. Low-income neighborhoods receive poor taxi service because drivers rationally avoid trips where they won't find a return fare. Uber does nothing to create new demand that can fill those empty seats and has no way to vary fares based on backhaul utilization. People expect that fare to the airport should be roughly the same at 6 a.m. when the cab will return empty as it is at 4 p.m. when fares are queued up. I gotta take another sip, sorry guys. Extremely high cost of peak capacity. Peak taxi demand occurs during the late evening, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. As with rush hour transit and expressway peaks, the cost of the capacity needed to serve peak demand is 4 to 5 times the cost of serving demand on Tuesday morning. Cab companies cannot afford to provide all the expensive capacity demanded, creating conflict as wealthier people headed to restaurants and clubs fight over the limited supply of cabs with late shift workers at hospitals and warehouses. Uber has done nothing to reduce the high cost of peak service or find paying passengers anxious to travel at off hours. Uber's core business proposition, push a button, get a car, by definition requires far more capacity and much lower utilization rates than traditional operators, which basically means that they have more cars out there, but they're not being used as efficiently. Overcapacity risk. Taxi businesses in unregulated markets have no natural barriers to entry and thus face the risk of ruinous overcapacity that reduces utilization and precludes a workable balance of supply and demand. As both Uber and past cases of unlimited market entry have demonstrated, new entrants don't charge fares high enough to cover full operating costs, ensuring major losses for everyone. Uber did not suddenly discover ways to dramatically improve productivity and service quality that everyone else in the industry had been too stupid to recognize for the past 100 years. In fact, nothing in Uber's business model solves any of the major problems that have long frustrated users. Now, yeah, I think we're halfway through this article. It's definitely a mouthful, but that's why we're doing this together. Let's go back and check out some of the comments. So let's see here. So Katie, hey guys, make a small contribution to our upcoming honeymoon, and maybe I'll let him do a live stream. Oh yeah, did that. Sorry. Yeah, it does help, but donations are not required. I'm doing pretty good, so appreciated but not required. Anyway, Sandman said this channel is soothing. Oh, I'm glad. That's a very interesting comment. Thank you. And I see Steven and NYC Driver Log are talking to each other. So I'll pass all of that. So let's see here. Katie says everyone thumbs up. That would be appreciated. And then she laughs. JJ says, yeah, if they're charging surge and not paying the driver, that's just so wrong. But Uber can do whatever it wants. Well, that's the thinking, but everything... That's one of the reasons why drivers want them to be regulated, because they shouldn't be able to do anything they want. Cheryl says, new drivers have no idea what's happening. It takes a bit to figure it all out. I believe Uber continues to get new drivers to waste time until driverless cars come aboard. The driverless cars are not going to come here anytime soon. No time soon. Eduardo, I'm not going to comment on that one. Do you have a preference between Super Chats and Patreon donations? Not particularly. They both take the same amount of money. They both get the same cut, and, a donation's a donation, so I appreciate it one way or the other. I mean, it's not like I'm going to say, oh, you gave a Super Chat and it's 35% cut. Go to Patreon. It's monthly, and it's a 20%. It's like, no, I don't care. I do not care. Let's see here. Bootsy said, Uber is stalling until it can get... Yeah, I agree. Oh, thank Bootsy. I really appreciate that. I will... that's a $2... Oh, and we got a $5 chip too, so there's $5. I don't have any more than 5 of these, so I can't do that. I'm going to take a sip. Actually, I do have a link if you want to donate on Bitcoin. So, that's one for Og, and for DFW Food Delivered, who also has a good channel, guys. So, all right, Katie, I've made, how much is that? I think that's almost $10. So, $10 for our honeymoon. Let's see here. DFW Food says, you can buy one napkin for the wedding now. Yeah. Thankfully, my brother is letting us use the napkins from his wedding. Oh, thank you, Neef. Thank you for the $1 super chat. And, a second $1 super chat. Thank you. I will do 2 drinks in your honor. See, Katie's getting excited now. Lift is trash. I agree with that. Hey, right here, Lisa. How you doing? So, glad to see you here. And Fry Guy Zero. There. Go. Reusable napkin. No. Like, these are like real, real napkins. They're not like paper napkins. It's like, they're black napkins, and, you put them in the washing. Oh, thank you, Amelo1, for the $2 super chat. I will take a drink in your name. You know, oh, thank you, John, for the comment. Yeah, cloth napkins. That's what it is. Geez, everyone, you're getting Katie really excited. I wish we could, wish we had like a camera on her. She's probably going like, woo! I can't do it very well, but, you know. So, Chet too. Thank you for the $2, toss that, finish that bottle, okay? 2 more. I'm gonna have to start practicing juggling casino chips. Okay. Well, because he made the request, I'm gonna finish. LAX. I don't see my previous comments in the chat. Why are they? I don't know. I actually almost haven't been deleting any of the comments. Are you going to Sacramento with the Writer Professor? I hope to. I really, really hope so. We just have to figure something. Okay. Now, if I get any more super chats, vitamin zero water. We'll drink to that. So, Uber wants your cut of tips, Kevin. Yeah, they do. That's why I tell people tip in cash. Never mind, we have evidence of them stealing it. So, all right. Next, yeah, I actually don't drink alcohol. I've never had alcohol, believe it or not. I just have never had a desire to even get into that. Katie does enjoy wine, though. So, in fact, funny thing, I have a Hello Kitty bottle of wine in my pantry because I made a video that I haven't edited yet. Anyway, so here's the next part, and I think if there's any more super chats, I'll get back to you later. But the armadillo? What's the armadillo? I don't know what the armadillo is. Uber's popularity is based on manufactured narratives. Customers correctly perceived that Uber offered greater availability and reliability than traditional cab companies used to, but failed to recognize that all of these improvements required billions of dollars in unsustainable subsidies. If a new entrant in any other established industry suddenly offered much more service at much lower prices than incumbents ever had, the normal response would be to demand evidence about the productivity breakthroughs making this possible. Oh, that's Perry. That's Perry. Let me see if I can get him. Oh, thank you for the $2 super chat, Fry Guy Zero. So anyway, I have like a special request to show Perry. I'll see if I can't get him out. In the meantime, we're gonna take a break from this. I'll be right back. Forgive the mess in the background. All right. So, I'll be able to pick him up in a moment. Did I? So, Mark Palooza, hi, this is my first time seeing you live. Oh, hi, how you doing? Welcome. Glad you could be here. Bro, tell me this. I did 90 rides twice for the Uber Fare weekly rental deal. They were supposed to pay me 185 to do 90 rides, and each time they did not pay. So, I don't know what to tell you, to be honest, about that. So, yeah, I would contact them. What's going on? Yeah, I'm back. No, that's Fantasy Star Online. That's actually going to be like a big announcement or semi-big announcement that I'm going to make on this channel. So, let's see here. Okay. Anyway, hey Perry. Anyway, folks, This is Perry, pet chinchilla. People were wondering what who I was talking about when I was made my earthquake video. This is who I'm talking about. Say hi to everyone, Perry. He's only yes, I did name him after Perry the platypus. I did. Anyway, he's a really fun guy. Oh, careful, buddy. Very, very active. I'm gonna put him back in the cage, but that's what he looks like. That's what he looks like. If I had like a raisin, I'd hand it to him. He's really cute when he eats raisins and Cheerios and stuff. But anyway, that's what he looks like. I'd have him in more videos, except he's not, he doesn't cooperate very much sometimes. So I'm gonna put him back. And he was also dusty because I lured him out with the dust bath. So anyway, oh, what? Let's see. Okay, what else did I miss? You have dogs? No, I do want dogs though. Everyone thinks he's cute. Yeah, he is very, very cute. Cross between a bunny and a hamster. I think it's more like a cross between a bunny and a squirrel. That's what it always looked like to me. So yeah, I know people make fur coats out of him. In fact, I've told him, when you die, I'm going to turn you into a sock. But only one, because he's not very big. And I'm totally kidding about that. Oh, Anthony, thank you for the super chat. I will drink to your honor and look at message above. Oh, okay, I must have missed that. Well, let's see here, Anthony. If you're in the airport queue as an XL or black and downgraded to X when it's surging, Uber will consider this as surge tampering. Then they'll ban you from all airport trips. They are doing this. You know, it's interesting you bring that up. Check out one of tomorrow's videos. Uber is crossing some serious lines with the airport queue, and I would not be surprised if. Actually, no, I think I kind of talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, videos were edited and everything, folks. So you know they'll be up on time. Wow, we got over 100 people in here. So yay. Jordan says looks like a cat mated. Yeah, but he's cute. He's cute. Oh, Vin, thank you for the 2 super chat. I will drink to you. So our let's see here. Oh, Katie says hi, Perry. Yeah, I'm gone again, but I'm back. Let's see here. DFW food challenge delivered. Super chat challenge Kevin's drink water, then read this article. For every $1 in super chat, he has to keep the live stream going for an extra minute. No bathroom breaks. Okay. Hi, John. Well, that would be an interesting challenge. That would be. Would be. So let's see here. I guess I'll take a break from the article and finish. We might even have to break this in 2 parts. Let's see here. I want Hello Kitty wine for my daughter. She collects Hello Kitty. Well, you can get them at Vaughn's, I believe. You get Vaughn's. Let's see here. Let's see here, Jet. Don't let them off the hook. Hassle them every day. Okay. Would Katie Hendricks approve? Approve of what? Why always the hat? Well, the hat. It's the reason the hat is because I have multiple channels, and so in the screenshots, if I'm wearing the hat, I know it goes to this channel, and so I can just visually scan it with my eyeballs. So that's what it is. Time for the beanie to come off. Hit 100. Yes, 100 likes. The beanie will come off. Let's see here. Jordan was Jordan. The hat helped. Oh, yes. Jordan was Jordan. Okay. So let's see here. John says the Mickey Mouse ears the other day were actually, yeah, fun. Yeah, you know, here's the funny thing about the Mickey Mouse ears. I did them. In fact, I have them. I have them right here. I was just totally in a silly mood, and I said, you know what? What would people's reaction be if I wore Mickey Mouse ears one day and just seemed to be oblivious to the fact that I was wearing them until after a couple videos got made. And I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed. People really didn't say anything about it. A couple people said nice ears, and then I lost 4 subscribers, so maybe. But maybe that was the response. Maybe at that point it was like, okay, this is too silly even for me. But man, I was really hoping I'd get so many more comments about the ears. Like, what the heck is up with the Mickey Mouse ears? Didn't happen. Did not happen. But yes, it was fun to do. It was a nice little change of pace. Let's see here. Let's see here. John says, got to wonder how many people are watching this while waiting for rides. Yeah, you do. The Brazil show said, oh, talking to someone else. And let's see here. Anthony says, love your work. Keep it up. We need. Well, thanks. I'm glad you like it. I will continue to do it as long as people watch. So let's see here. Ryan Stretchers, have you heard that Oswald the Lucky Rabbit series is coming to Disney Plus? No, but that makes sense. I mean, they haven't really done anything with that character except for making those awful Epic Mickey games. So, you know, a TV show I'm not objected to. Fry Guy Zero said, I like the Mickey Mouse ears. It was cool and different. So Brazil's okay. Jordan said Mickey Mouse ears fit your brand too well for people to. That might, yeah, maybe that's the case. Roach Hunter says I like the hat. Let's see here, and Russell said guarantee and bonus. I learned the hard way. You have to read. Like Funhouse said, $150 for Hello Kitty wine. Like $150, like I wine, or if like you send me $150, do you want me to send you the wine? Because I'm not going to drink the wine. Just to let you know, I'm actually oddly proud of the fact that I have not ever had alcohol in my life, except in like medicines and stuff. But I mean, because we're at $22, so yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Are you going to dance for us like you did 2 weeks ago? Well, if I if I get high super chats, then yeah, maybe I will. I got like I got over 100 likes and a $200 pay donation for that. So that was definitely a happy. Oh no, I just bought it on the line. Oh you will. Yes, a celebration dance. Yep. Me. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Oops. The $2 super chat. I will drink to your honor, Eduardo. And I'm actually wondering if there's like a certain limit we hit with the super chats. Should I put on the Mickey Mouse hat? Actually, I wonder. Maybe I should put on the Mickey Mouse ears now because we have 50 likes, and if we get, or should the 100 likes be the Mickey Mouse hat? I don't know. The fun things we can do live. Yo mama, K-Rod censors viewers. I know someone who can't post comments during his last videos. Yeah, I do. I am not ashamed to say it. If you are an ass on my channel and live, then you will be banned and I will censor you. This is not a free republic. This is a dictatorship on my channel. It is run the way I want it to be run. So if you know someone who got banned, tell that person not to be an ass in the future. That's all I got to say about that. Yes, I second JJ. Thanks to everyone who's been donating. It has been really, really fun to watch the donations climb. Let's see here. Leo says, I take it you're not going to SAC for the protest. I really hope to go to the protest. I can't promise it, but I will try my hardest. There's just one other thing. It's a shame it's not Thursday. On Thursday, I would have no problem going at all. Or if it was Wednesday, or if it was Friday. Heck, even if it was tomorrow, I could probably make it. But Man, Tuesday. They picked the one day that something major was going on. Jordan says no crybaby rideshare has been crying about being banned on channels. Ironically, well, look, he was banned on my channel. I unbanned him. I decided to give him a second chance. So, you know, that's Oh, thank you for the $3 super chat, good citizen. Is this annoying people? This tossing the chips in, and I just dropped them all. Is that no? Is that annoying everyone? I don't know. It's after over an hour of doing it, maybe I don't know. Thank you. Like Roadrunner says, I meant the beanie. I don't meant the beanie. Maybe did I miss a message? Roadrunner, I like the hat. Oh, you meant the beanie. Oh, okay. Yes, he does. Yeah. You like seeing the toss a chip? Oh. Well, if Alex blocks you, then yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I have so many subscribers and viewers that I have to trust them. Now, here's the thing, folks. Just to kind of let you know, if you feel like you have been unfairly blocked by someone other than me, you can email me and I will look at your posts and I will see that if that ban should stand, and I have the power to undo that. So, and if it's on someone else's channel, can't do anything about it. Amelia one says yes, he does excellent updates. Oh, thank you. Let's see here. Good Citizen says, I hope Uber and Lyft loses their privilege and gets banned from every state. So, yeah. Well, that's going to take a while. Kaming said, I drove Lyft today and took a lady 1.1 miles to Walmart. She paid $8.50. I got from Lyft $3.80. Didn't think I'd get to pay that low. Rideshare source, do you have Ushanka hat? Is that what it is? I don't know what that is, so probably not. Let's see here. Oh, John, thank you for the $5 in super chats. See, I have five of these things. I'm getting close to the end of this bottle, folks. I'll drink to that thing. Thank you. More information on entrepreneurial apps. I got about 20 on my phone and have made money with most. Yeah, one of the I was going to be looking at an app called Jive or something. I don't know. It was someone recommended it. And I set up, but then the appointment's like 2 or 3 hours away, so I got to get that back into motion so I can look into that. It was kind of like TaskRabbit. And I might be talking about like selling apps, so anyway. I do want to do more of that. Katie said, babe, put on the Mickey ears. Oh. Well, if the wifey asks me to, I guess I must. There. By the way, these are graduation Mickey Mouse ears. I got them when I graduated from the Disney College program in 2010. So if anyone here happened to have been, Katie's gonna be my wife. She makes it. She snaps her finger, and I say yes, dear. She says jump. I say how high. That's how it works. She gets that privilege. So, but yeah. So if anyone here was in the Disney College program on California side in 2010, we went to the college program together. So there you go. Let's see here. What else? Let's see here. Hey, Payman, how you doing? Alex says, I only time out people. Kevin usually makes the final call. This is true. Brian says, I have the power in my best heat. Oh, well, you got to send a super chat for that. Sorry. Let's see here. Am I a complete sellout? I'm probably a complete sellout. Leo says, what do you know about this goat app? Is it legit? Okay. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I do have thoughts on it. I am going to be talking to Torsten and asking exactly what that is. However, I think I know what it is, and Yeah, once we establish what it is and what it isn't, um, then I can talk about it. However, I just you know, but I'll talk about that. Don't worry, because it's obviously a big deal. One of our own Uber tubers, Rideshare Professor, is making it. So obviously we need to talk about that. NYC driving. I don't watch Torts anymore. If you from live, then he must have stuff to hide. Well, that's between you and Torsten, obviously. People get blocked for a number of different reasons. I mean, you've always been very good on my channel. I don't see any reason why he should block you. But then I wasn't there. And maybe it was a justifiable block. Maybe it wasn't. I just don't know. So I can't take that position. Only to say that NYC Driver has been a model citizen on this channel. And, by the way, he's also one of my moderators on the Facebook Hangouts group, so you can check that out below if you want to join us on Facebook. There's also a picture of me from last year and this year, so you can see my weight loss progress. John says, entrepreneurs don't protest, they just find more profit. That's pretty much it. Eduardo says, gotta get a dog, Kevin. I agree, but that's going to be a little ways away. Let's see here. Nelson said, Essence Fest was this weekend in NOLA. No surges on the driver's app, but the passengers were getting surge prices. Yeah, we've talked about that. Oops, let's see here. Let's see here. Where was I? Where was I? Amelia one said, Torsten has blocked me from talking on live chat because I disagreed with one thing a long time ago. Well, that's his channel. He can ban whoever he wants, whether I agree with it or not. Let's see here. Payment, nice look. Thanks. JJ says, to those joining, welcome to tonight's stream. Thumbs up. Yeah, if you want to, thumbs it up. That'd be great. Let's see here. Rideshare Source Driver, how long ago did you make your first gig economy video? That's a good question. Let's find out. It was a while ago, I know that. It was a while ago. Let's see here. Videos. Oh, look, I gained a subscriber. How nice. How nice. It's nice to know that the Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple videos, I'm glad those aren't scaring people away. The beanie comes off at 100 likes. That's sort by date added oldest. I actually have ridden the cap, worn the cap when back when I was driving. I have worn the cap when I drove, so no one recognized me, by the way. So my first gig economy video was over 3 years ago, and I know that my first DoorDash video was like a few months before I posted the first one on this channel. So yeah, about 3.5 years. So, So yeah, that was, boy, it's been a while, folks. It has been a while. Let's see here. Let's see here. Katie doesn't have a oh, well, I mean, okay, sure. She gets a wrench. I didn't think about it. She's normally not here. So, let's see here. Let's see. She doesn't. All right, let's. Alex says, Katie doesn't have a wrench, but she has her fingers to snap. Yes, she does. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to refrain from commenting about Torsten because, first of all, he is a friend of mine, but I don't want to be... And it's kind of rude for friends to be publicly talking about your friend's flaws live on TV. Also, he's one of the best shots I have to getting to Sacramento um, on Tuesday. So if that is open, obviously don't want to jeopardize that. But we all have issues. I have issues, so I'm certain. Actually, I know because it's kind of fun to sometimes go to other people's videos, live stream chats, and you see people smack talking me all the time in them, and it's like, it's like I've heard them all. Katie's gonna get upset, but it's like, yeah, I've been called illiterate and fat, and I live in my mother's basement, even though I haven't lived with my parents for like over 10 years, and I just laugh because it's like, yeah, it's not true, but whatever. Let's see here. John Uber says, so why are so many Uber drivers having a hard time making money? I get that there are differences in every city and every state, but not all places and drivers aren't making money. No, but the places where you make money are anomalies, so that's the problem. DFW Food Delivered. Did you ever find out why you were deactivated from DoorDash? See, Katie's getting upset. They're just random people online, Katie. They don't mean anything. All I care... It's like we have friends, and we do have fellow subscribers. So, trolls on the internet. You just got to learn to run with the punches. So, let's see here. I don't think I ever found out why I was deactivated from DoorDash. Well, the first time I did. The second time, not so much. Michael says, I'm surprised Dustin is driving is not here tonight. I'm a little surprised too, but he must have decided to go to bed after his live stream. Let's see here. Journey with Jordan. Do you think another earthquake will come during the stream? Oh gosh, I hope so. That would make for a great stream. Let's see here. John Uber said, I Uber and PA and make $17 to $26 per hour and have not had any issues with Uber at all. Well, that's great. Really. If it works for you, happy. In fact, Katie just made about $18.50 an hour on average today after driving 4.5 hours. So it's not like you can't make money. It's just, it's a lot harder to these days. Let's see. It's like, okay, I'm glad you agree and respect me for that, Amelie. Kevin, how do I send you proof that I have court Uber? Trying to pay me on fake money. You can send anything to me, Gmail or Facebook. My Gmail address, greatmediauniverse@gmail.com, and the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. Both links are below. So, Jordan says, I always stick up for you and other live streams. Actually, yes, Jordan, I have noticed that. I do appreciate that. In all fairness, most of the people that complain about me they're primarily in Bam Bam's live streams and obviously the other guy from Chicago. That's where most of the complaints are because, that's like, they know, the viewers know that bringing my name up to those guys gets them all, riled up, and it makes for good live streaming. So, okay, later, NYC driver. Boy, this one's going long. This one is going long, but I'm having fun. I think and the super chats definitely helped keep it going. So thank you for that. Katie will never use the middle finger emoji. She's too nice. In fact, here's the thing. I'm going to share a funny little story about Katie. She's going to get embarrassed when I drop the chip again. I dropped a chip again. Oops. So, I'm going to share this story about Katie. This just shows how nice she is. But there was a situation. We were both in the car, so I saw this. I witnessed this. And there was a guy who was like speeding up. Not unusual in LA, by the way. And they speed up. They cut a couple people off. They come up to her, high beam her, honk the horn, speed up to the side, cut her off, give her the middle finger, drive off, and she's like, what a stinker. So that's how nice Katie is. That's Katie getting very, very upset. So she's not going to use the middle finger emoji. Um, JJ says, I think Torsten is just really passionate when he talks. I don't think it's anger. Yeah, I've been told I'm passionate too, but I actually do get angry. uh, let's see. So, let's see here. John Newper says, yes, including the tips. So, okay. Good Citizen says, Greg the Groove, I think you and Amelia are living life too seriously. That might not be directed at me. Brian says, dashing now and on time is yeah, it is. It was back then too. So let's see here. Righteous says, people have nothing else to do but talk crap on live chat while they are waiting at the airport. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. So, oh, Dustin, we were just talking about you. I guess you're. Kim Singh said, I'm Team Kevin. Well, I appreciate that, although it's not. I don't necessarily believe in teams. I think it's juvenile myself. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. Brazil Show says, I know him as a matter of fact and think he's a good dude. Okay, I don't know who you're talking about there. Yeah, Dustin, just we've been going on for like an hour and a half. You're gonna send your dues, Dustin? You're gonna send a Smakovich my way? I don't know why I deserve a Smakovich, but you know, why not? So let's see here. So let's see here. DFW Food Delivered says, wasn't trying to upset you about DoorDash, but since they didn't give you a reason, technically could appeal your deactivation you wanted, though I don't think you'd want to. Actually, I tried. They definitely gave me the runaround. So, yeah, Dustin, we're talking about you. We're talking about everyone. Goodson says, Kevin, I only drive and take rides when there is surge and nothing else. I don't think it is worth driving with the normal fares. I agree. I agree. So let's see here. I think I'm caught up. Okay. You know what? Let me the Brazil show. Let me. I met a lot of people at the protest. Let me open a new tab. Let's let me see here. The Brazil show. Here's the channel, 87 videos. Am I gonna be able to pick you out from here? I don't know if I'll be able to pick you out from here. I'm sorry. Okay, JJ. See you later. Let's see here. All right. Well, anyway, if I met you, I'm glad that you know, I'm glad we met. I mean, pretty much everyone I met except for one person was pretty nice, and they were all really cool. So oh, NYC driver's still here. Awesome. Torsten is the goat man, right? Yeah, he's the goat man. Let's see here. Michael, Michael Torsten talks in Australian accent. Is it Australian? I don't think it's an Australian accent. Let's see here. No rideshare stuff there. Okay. Isn't Katie? I apologize if I offended you. I was just talking about people like Amelia didn't think it was a. I don't know what's going on. Katie will have to fill me in on that a little later, I guess. Let's see. So, digging the new beanie. Yeah, I got a lot of super chats, so this was kind of a special request, and that is that everyone else like donated money, and then Katie I said, hey, if I get $50, I'll put the Mickey Mouse ears on. And Katie snapped her fingers and was like, put the Mickey Mouse ears on. It was like, yeah, yes, ma'am, honey. That's what happened. Let's see here. All right. Oh, he does. Oh, it is a South African accent. Oh, okay. So they. So, okay, we've been going for an hour and a half. Maybe. I wonder if we should be wrapping it up soon. I guess I'm never going to finish that article tonight. Might have to. Well, I'll include the link to the article below so you guys can. Well, let's read the last. The last part. The last part. This is the end of the article. Let's just read it. Let's get it out of the way. And it says, one of the most innovative disruptive companies ever, question mark. And it says, developing powerful competitive breakthroughs is hard. Figure out how to generate strong positive cash flow from them while fighting established incumbents is even harder. Uber's innovative strategy was to skip all this really hard stuff. The company's strategy was to use an unprecedented level of investment funding to bulldoze its way directly to industry dominance and exploitable market power and create a growth trajectory that would allow it to demand an Amazon Facebook caliber equity valuation. This strategy was bolstered by a hyper-aggressive, monomaniacal growth at any cost culture by PR techniques that masked Uber's losses as well as lack of competitive advantages and its open pursuit of unregulated industry dominance. Uber's investors fully understood that achieving extremely powerful rapid growth without any meaningful efficiency. Guys, I'm actually going to take this off because that actually got a little hot. Would require funding. Investors provided $13 billion in equity funding through 2015 and $20 billion through 2018. This was 2,300 times the equity funding that Amazon required before its IPO. Unlike Uber, Amazon could fund its growth out of positive cash flow generated by its powerful efficiency advantages. Uber's investors, meanwhile, understood that what was required and never complained about either the huge funding demands or the ongoing losses. Any bottom line evaluation of Uber must start with the fact that the company has not built the proverbial better mousetrap. It has not materially reduced the cost or improved the productivity of taxis. Uber has not discovered a way to profitably provide enough taxi capacity to ensure users could instantly get one whenever they touch a smartphone button. But the company did discover an innovative, disruptive strategy that allowed a small group of private investors to create almost $100 billion in corporate value out of thin air. Today's Uber is clearly more popular than traditional taxi service, but this observation is economically meaningless. The only valid comparisons are with a hypothetical subsidy-free Uber that could produce today's prices and service levels along with sustainable profits. If Uber could somehow convert the 14 plus billion that it lost in the past 4 years to substantial growing profits, it would be one of the biggest corporate turnarounds in history. Conversely, if Uber fails to find the billions of dollars in operating efficiencies that it couldn't find over the past 9 years, it will have a devastating impact on the urban car service industry and the hundreds of cities that depend on taxis. As it struggles to reduce losses, it will be free to cut service and gouge customers no longer protected by either regulations or meaningful competition. Oh, Fry Guy Zero, thank you for the $5 super chat. I will finish this in your name. You should tell the guys to do a live stream in the car on the way up. Well, maybe. If we do that, I'm going to be saving my battery power for the actual demonstration. Plus, when you're in the middle of nowhere, the live stream can be a little choppy. Okay, we're almost there. Other Silicon Valley investors amassed staggering riches while inflicting enormous damage on the rest of society, like creating an uncontrollable surveillance apparatus, poisoning public discourse, exploiting massive anti-competitive power. But in these cases, one can at least point to some offsetting benefits. Search engines lower retail prices, useful social media tools. One can also argue that in a different political environment, most of these gains could have been achieved while avoiding most of the costs. Uber, meanwhile, is unique because it is entirely exploitative. It has not created any substantial offsetting benefits. The private wealth it has created comes entirely at the expense of the rest of society. In this, it at least helps destroy the last illusions that 21st century capitalism is being operated to serve the greater good. Uber always depended on pursuing artificial market power and destroying any constraints on the exercise of that power. I see the super chats. I want to finish this first. I'll get back to you guys. It was always explicitly transferring wealth from labor to capital and from demographically accountable public control to totally unaccountable private control. Uber is important because it also illustrates that propaganda techniques can be just as powerful in corporate settings as they have been in partisan political settings. Despite 9 years of disastrous financial results and exposés of bad behavior that would have destroyed most companies, the press refused to reconsider its narrative, valorizing Uber as a heroic innovator that has created huge benefits for consumers in cities. The mainstream media doesn't even acknowledge that Uber manufactured these narratives. Investors will surely recognize what Uber has accomplished here and will attempt to create corporate value by applying these same techniques in many more causes. Just in case I end up going, so that there's something for both everyone watching in the morning and refresh the browser. So and the sponsor. So for you guys, the sponsor, I have a video on Tuesday in the can. So anyway, we're probably going to I'm a little disappointed in the lack of an earthquake too. So there you go. And by the way, Ryan, just to let you know, on my Kevin T. Rodriguez channel tomorrow, I'm talking about the Star Wars land disaster. So you guys have given me enough super chats. I'm going to finish this. So there you go. Now then, it's time for me to do my little outro for everyone who might not be watching this live, but might watch it in the future. Who knows? So anyway, thank you for watching. Do you agree with anything we've talked about or disagree? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month or $5 goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog, which I finally updated with something. If you want more video content from me, consider subscribing to Kevin T. Rodriguez and the Apptrepreneur vlogs channels. And if gas prices get you just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, and you get cash back on every gas purchase. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow people in this chat, check us out on Facebook at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. Wow, 65. We almost got to a Beanie Less video, but not quite. Maybe next week we'll try.